Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a special video on Fortnight current affair, call it FCA. So in this session, I'll be covering 10 most important news that was relevant for the entire fortnight. This is Fortnight 1 for the month of August. Every month, two FCA is released. The first FCA is released on second Sunday and the second FCA is released on fourth Sunday. The coverage of the news that includes the Hindu, the Indian Express and the Press Information Bureau. So without any further delay, let's get started. These are the list of the topic that I'll be discussing, the 10 most important news that was relevant for the entire fortnight. Even you can pause this video and take this screenshot of the entire topic that I'm discussing with you. And before I proceed, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. So starting with the first news basically, that is the 7th Governing Council meeting of the Niti Aayog, which was recently held in Delhi. So recently the Prime Minister has chaired the 7th Governing Council. The number is important for many other government examination. They can ask you the number directly. So this is the first in-person meeting of the Governing Council since 2019, post which the COVID-19 was there. So some of the restriction was being followed by the government and the meeting was not held in person. The conference was chaired by the Prime Minister, which also include the Chief Secretaries of all state, union territories, along with the senior officers from the central government and the state government. The Prime Minister has categorically lauded even praised the state government for their cooperation in the fighting of COVID-19, right? So this is true spirit of cooperative federalism, which was witnessed during the fight of the COVID-19, where both the central government and state government has a close coordination. Now, agenda of the meeting की अगर बात करें, so first was about the cross diversification and achieving India's self-sufficiency in oilseed, pulses and agri-commodity product. We have seen that amid the war in Ukraine, the oilseed prices has taken a toll, right? Implementation of the national education policy, which government has come up with 2020. उसके अलावा implementation of the national education policy for higher, both for school and higher education and urban governance was again something the agenda of the meeting. Focus area की अगर बात करें, Prime Minister in his close remark has said that each state should focus on 3T. This 3T is again very important. This 3T stand for trade, tourism and technology. Now, sustainable and inclusive India की बात की गई है in a drive towards steady and sustainable and inclusive development. जो 7th Governing Council की meeting हुई थी, that called for definitely something which is sustainable and inclusive India. So the Niti Aayog is expected to pave the synergies towards the collaborations, that how we can achieve the cooperations between the center, state and the union territories. तो जो 3 component है main function के, उनके बीच में coordination की बात की गई. The meeting also laid the emphasis on importance of the presidency for the India, which India will be having a G20 platform की जो presidency है वो start होने वाली. This will continue till December 2023. So this is again a pride moment for India that India is going to be the president of G20. The other news, that is Lok Sabha passes bill to set up the carbon market. Recently, the Lok Sabha has passed the Energy Conservation Amendment Bill 2022, right, which provides for the establishment of carbon credit market, which is also known as CCM, carbon credit market establishment hogi, and which will bring large residential building under the energy conservation regime. What is the mandate of this bill? Bill ki kya mandate hai? So the bill mandate the use of non-fossil sources, that is NFS की uses की बात की गई है, which include the green hydrogen, green ammonia, biomass and ethanol. So these are the example of non-fossil fuel. Now the bill also amend the Energy Conservation Act, which called for establishment of carbon market, enhancing the scope of Energy Conservation Building Code, amending the penalty provisions, which has been revised, and increasing the number of the Governing Council in the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Objective of bill की अगर बात करें, has include a new concept that include the carbon trading. तो carbon trading की बात की गई है, and it will also ensure that non-fossil जो sources हैं उनकी ज़्यादा utilize की जाएगी, because government of India has a commitment to the SDG goal, right? जो SDG के goal 11 for the Paris climate change, And even for the latest one, that is the COP26, this all were promised by the Prime Minister, right? And we definitely have an obligations to international forum where climate change is a big issue, right? So apart from this, there will be reductions in the fuel-based energy consumptions that will result in the carbon emission reductions in the carbon element, जो कार्बन की रिडक्शंस एटमॉस्फेयर में, खास करके किस तरह से कार्बन की इमिशंस को कम किया जाए एटमॉस्फेयर में, इसकी तरफ कोशिश की जाएगी. The Energy Conservation Amendment Bill 2022 seeks to mandate the use of non-fossil, which I've told you in the beginning, that is green hydrogen, green ammonia, biomass, ethanol, feedstock, and the establishment of carbon markets. Now, carbon credit is again an important point here to note it. The Union Minister for Power has clarified that the carbon credit would not be exported and India would use it domestically. And he has said that India meet the commitment under the COP21 and COP26, which it allowed not to export any of the carbon credit. Now, other news, that is Supreme Court uphold ED power to arrest under the PMLA. This is something very, very important for your mains examination. Make sure आप इसके बारे में सारे important points समझें, because ये mains में एक बहुत ही important question है. Now, recently the Supreme Court has upheld the ED power to arrest, attach property and search any of the property that is under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. अगर किसी एक इंडिविजुअल के अगर ईडी चाहती है कि पीएमएलए को इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए उसके अगेंस्ट अगर कोई वॉल्यूशंस हैं तो वो उस पर प्रॉपर एक्शंस ले सकती है. दिस इज व्हाट द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज कैटेगोरिकली नोटेड एंड सेड दैट पीएमएल लॉ इज नॉट आर्बिट्ररी इन नेचर. Now, the top court has said that the Prevention of Money Laundering Act is a scourge of money laundering and not an hatred willed against the rival politicians or dissenters. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा ये ज़रूरी नहीं है कि जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज है वो सिर्फ अपने रिवेंज के लिए या रिटेलिएशन के लिए इस तरह के मेजर्स लें. देयर इज समथिंग सम ट्रू फ्रॉड दैट वाज आल्सो रिपोर्टेड. Now, the verdict come at the time where most of the opposition leader, which include the parties like Congress, TMC, National Conference, are being reported with the basically उनके यहाँ पे inspections की जा रही हैं, suspected को यहाँ raid भी की जा रही है from the enforcement directive. Now, क्या है objective of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act? First, it called for preventing any sort of money laundering, and it aims to confiscate and seize the property obtained from the money laundering. Basically, जो भी money laundering से किसी भी तरह की property purchase की गई है, वो seize करने की power PMLA के अंदर है, and to deal with any issues concerned with the money laundering in India. Section 50 is again important for your mains specifically. तो सेक्शन 50 में क्या बातें कही गई है? सेक्शन 50 empowers the authority and officers of the enforcement direct to summon any person and give evidence or produce a record. So this is a power which derive ED जो है अपनी power इस section से भी derive करती है. Now, all summoned person are bound to answer the questions put to them and produce a document as required by the enforcement directorate office, following which they can be penalized under the PMLA. So again, a powerful office that is interested to ensure that no money laundering is taking place in our country. Supreme Court की क्या observation है specifically इस law को लेकर के? The Supreme Court has noted that money laundering is one of the heinous crime, and it has not affected the social and economic fabric of our country, but also promote a heinous offences like terrorism, offences related to NDPS Act, right? And the apex court has upheld that the constitutionality of the provision, that is section 5, 8, 15, 17, 19 of the PMLA, which relates to the ED power to arrest, attach and seizure, is rightly held. And even the Supreme Court has said that this is not, so ED is not doing anything wrong, whatever they are doing in terms of searching, arresting or even taking a suspected to their custody. Now, the other news, that is Joint Theatre Command for Tri-Services. So recently, while speaking during the 23rd Kargil Vijay Divas, the Defense Minister of India has announced that India will be setting a joint theatre level command, right, for the trilateral services to enhance the coordination between the armed forces. And he said that India is moving quickly from the beginning of the world's largest importer of the defense equipment as an exporter. So we, apart from the import, we are now inclined towards the export part, right? And India is not only the world's largest importer, but also going to be the top 25 nation, which has a potential to export the items, right? Now, India की defense export की अगर बात करें, India has stated that defense export is worth of around 30,000 crore, and even it has increased to 35,000 and 40,000 crore by 2025. तो अभी present में अगर आप value लिखेंगे तो 13,000 crore लिखेंगे, and in future you can also predict that it can raise up to 40,000 crore rupees. Now, threatization plan की अगर बात करें, as per the media report, India is set to begin the initial rollout of long-awaited threatization plan with Air Defense Command and Marine Threat Command that is likely to be launched in May. Through the command that would take 2 years to be fully operational. Now, threatization has a full backing of the government, and in June 2021, the government formed an 8-member panel to fine-tune the threatization plan and to bring stakeholders on board, especially by the Indian Air Force, for speedy rollout of the new joint structures. Now, Parliament has passed the Family Court Amendment Bill. So recently, the Parliament has passed the Family Court Amendment Bill to overcome the issues of jurisdiction of the Family Court of the specifically दो states यहाँ पे कंसर्न है, हिमाचल प्रदेश और नागालैंड को लेकर के. तो इस बिल में jurisdiction को increase करने की बात की गई है, and this is again important for your mains examination, right? So through this bill, the Nagaland government can establish 2 family court, right, which was actually established in 2008, and the government of Himachal Pradesh has established 3 family court in 2019. So Nagaland need 2, and Himachal Pradesh की अगर बात करें, Himachal Pradesh has taken 3 family. Now, insertion of Section 3A, the Family Court Amendment Bill, seeks to insert the provisions of subsection 3, Section A, to provide the establishment of family court in Himachal Pradesh with effect from February 15, 2019. So this will be retrospective in nature. And in Nagaland, it will come effect from 12th of September 2008. The bill seeks to insert the new section, that is 3A, retrospectively, and to validate the act that by the government and Himachal Pradesh, जो दो गवर्नमेंट है बेसिकली हिमाचल प्रदेश और नागालैंड की, इन दोनों में इम्प्लीमेंट की जाएगी फैमिली कोर्ट के jurisdictions को. Now, the family court was introduced in Lok Sabha in July itself, and the bill amend the Family Court Act of 1984. So again, this is an important point. And the act allowed the state government to establish family court. The central government is empowered to notify the dates from when it will come into effect. And the government of Himachal Pradesh and Nagaland have set up family court under their state acts. However, the central government has not extended the application to the act to the state. Earlier, it was not extended, but now, after the passage of the bill, now these 2 states have the power to come with the jurisdiction with the high court, basically family courts. Now, bill to create a statutory framework for the NADA, that is National Anti-Doping Agency. So, Lok Sabha has recently passed a bill that seeks to create a statutory framework for the National Anti-Doping Agencies. उसके अलावा जो National Dope Testing Laboratories हैं and the Dope Testing Laboratories will be formulated. Apart from it, a National Board of Anti-Doping will be created to strengthen the anti-doping activities in sports. Currently, अगर बात करें इंडिया में, तो 6,000 सैंपल एसेज हैं जो पूरे साल में टेस्ट की जाते हैं एंटी डोपिंग के केसेस में, राइट? सो दीज आर द नंबर ऑफ द केसेस दैट आर रिपोर्टेड. द मेन इज टू एम्पावर द NADA. सो किस तरह की पावर दी जाएगी इस बिल के अंदर? जो नेशनल एंटी डोपिंग एजेंसी उनके पास पावर होगी टू इन्वेस्टिगेट द मैटर, लेइंग द सैंक्शंस फॉर एंटी डोपिंग रूल एंड वायलेशंस, disciplinary procedures to be adopted, and the power to for inspections, sample collections, sharing of free flow of the informations. Now, countries जिनके पास already anti-doping laws हैं, उसमें 5 important countries हैं, which include United States, China, Australia, Korea, and Japan. These countries are already having an anti-doping law. Even you can use this as an example in your mains paper, right? Now, India will be among the countries that will have its own anti-doping laws and the testing laboratories as well. Now, the other news, that is government on consumer spending survey. Government is saying that they will start a work on the consumer survey, spending survey. So the center has initiated the process of conducting the quinnial, that is occurring every 5 years, of the Family Household Consumption Survey, also known as HCES. The survey last was conducted in 2017-18, but the finding was not made to public because of some of the quality concern. And so the last public available data is for 2011 and 12. फील्ड वर्क के थ्रू सारी ऑब्जर्वेशंस ली जाएगी. गवर्नमेंट ने कहा है, द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ स्टैटिक एंड प्रोग्राम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन शेड that first it will involve 3 visits over your asset, and spending patterns in the selected household will begin soon, right? And the questionnaires on the survey has also been tweeted to captures the item from the government welfare programs. So किस programs की क्या benefits हुई हैं ground पे, so that will be also implemented, and it will also ensure कि जितनी भी programs है government के उसकी benefits जो हैं उसके बारे में भी forecast कीजिए. The first, like it is this is conducted every 5 years, and HCES is used to arrive an estimate where it calculate the poverty level and review the economic indicators of the GDP, right? And the result of the survey is also utilized to update the consumption basket for the base revision of the consumer price. And the survey on the household consumption expenditure has been planned to collect the disaggregated level information. जो डिसग्रेडेड इंफॉर्मेशन से उसको सेग्रीगेट करके एक जगह लाया जाए, एंड इवन द हाउस होल्ड कंजप्शन फॉर द फूड एंड नॉन फूड आइटम्स के बारे में भी जानकारी. वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन अमेंडमेंट बिल 2021, अगेन समथिंग इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर बोथ प्रीलिम्स एंड मेंस एग्जामिनेशन. इस तरह के सवाल आपके प्रीलिम्स और मेंस दोनों के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. रिसेंटली द लोकसभा पास्ड द वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन अमेंडमेंट बिल, and the bill was first introduced in Lok Sabha by the Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change on December 17, right, which called for amending the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. क्या है objective इस bill के? The bill seeks to increase the species of the protected areas under the law and regulate the international law in the specimen of the wildlife and plant in the way that it do not threaten the survival of the species. Aim of the bill की अगर बात करें, the bill aims to implement the CITES, that is the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species with Flora and Fauna, और किस तरह से एक्सपैंड की जाए इस नंबर ऑफ बेसिकली जितने भी एनिमल्स है फ्लोरा एंड फौना उनके प्रोटेक्शन एरियाज को भी. The CITES is a convention that require countries to regulate the trade of all the listed specimen permitted through regulated with the possession of life animal, and it does not threaten the survival of any species. Now, the bill also ensure a greater control and regulate the wildlife sanctuaries and empower the government to notify the conservation reserve areas located next to sanctuaries, national park or protected flora and fauna. So now this power will lie with the central government. What are the amendments in this bill? जो previous Wildlife Protection Act थी 1972 की, that has 6 schedule, right? And protected areas के special protected areas की बात करें 1 है, special protected area for animal is 4, and vermin के लिए जो smell animals हैं for them it has 1. Now the amendment reduced the total number of scheduled area to 4, जो पहले 6 थी, now it has been 4, and vermin species and reducing the number of scheduled especially for the protected areas to 2, right? So this is how it is actually working at the current, and it has also inserted a new schedule called specimen listed under the CITES. Now, licensing authority established की गई है. The bill provide for establishment of the licensing authority by the central government. तो central government licensing authority की basically वो एम्पावर है इसको बनाने के लिए, and it will be calling up for जो भी import के लिए ज़रूरत पड़ेगी, import of trade of the specimen will be given by the licensing authority. Anyone who want to trade for the scheduled specimen must inform the appropriate authority before transiting any of the species, right? And the authority may use identification mark for the specimen, and the bill prohibit any kind of removing or modifications. Additionally, people posing the specimen for the schedule area must obtain registration certificate from the management or the authority which will be the licensing authority in this concern. Now the bill gives the authority control or outlaw the important trade possession of invasive alien species and those who are not indigenous to nature. India basically is not indigenous to India will also have to take the government authorities possessions invasive species के लिए permissions mandatory होंगे. Now increase in the penal penalty provisions जो हैं, bill increase the penalty violations from like earlier it was in 1972 it was too less like 25,000 rupees थी, इसको बढ़ा करके 1 lakh rupees कर दिया गया, and for the violations mean specially protected areas this like goes up from 10,000 to 25,000. Now, basically India to host UNSC meet on the counter-terrorism. India will host the diplomats of 50 nations, the United Nations Security Council, on a special meeting on the counter-terrorism. India chair करेगी special council on counter-terrorism for 2022 in October and will host the 15 Nation Security Council, which include United States, China, Russia and other countries. The tenure of the council will end in December, right? उसके बाद इंडिया जो G20 की प्रेसिडेंटशिप को भी लेने वाली है. Now, current membership of the council की अगर बात करें, these are the members. Even you can pause this video and you can read out the members. I'll just read out for you. Albania, Brazil, Gabon, Ghana, India, Ireland, Kenya, Mexico, Norway, UAE, China, France, Russia and UK and United States are the countries. A focus area की अगर बात करें, how it is actually focusing, what are the main focus area of the meeting. So the upcoming meeting on the counter-terrorism will specify 3 segments, right? उसके जो segments है, first is the rapid development, किस तरह से emerging technology को use की जा सकती है rapid development में, growing use of the member state, and even increasing the threat of abuse for terrorism purposes, which namely include the internet and social media, terror financing, and even the UAS. The committee has further said that the prevalence of technology and the rapid rise of digitalization and the use of technology, emerging technology and the counter-terrorism with the topic of growing interest will be concerned, and these were some of the priority that was taken by the member countries. Now about the counter-terrorism committee, this is something relevant for your prelims examination. तो यहाँ पे अगर बात करें CTC की, that was established in 2001 and in the wake of 9/11 attack. The UNSC resolution, that is 1373, has established the counter-terrorism and subsidiary body of the council. And on the eve of assuming the charge of the CTC in December last year, India has voted in favor of the resolutions to renew the mandate of the counter-terrorism committee executive directorate. Now moving to the other news, this is the last one, that is India, Australia to sign the film treaty. Now, the recently Union Cabinet has approved signing of the pact with Australia that will allow the private quasi-government and other government agencies to enter into the contract with the film producers. And so far, India has 15 audio-video co-production treaty with foreign countries. Advanced of audio-visual जो production treaty है, उसमें कैसे कैसे advantages मिलेंगे इंडिया और ऑस्ट्रेलिया को. It will boost engagement between art and culture, exchange of art and culture, generations of employment of architects, because this will call for a lot more engagement, so employment will be generated, technical as well as non-technical personal engagement in the audio-visual co-productions that include the productions and the post-production work, showcase of India as a soft power. And as a part of the co-production treaty, irrespective of the contributions, 2 countries may have somewhere contribution between 20 to 80% at the final cost of the co-productive works. Now, Australia is considered to be a preferred destinations. So Australia has emerged as a preferred destinations for shooting the Indian movies, Bollywood movies, and for many other documentaries also. And India is a fast emerging content as a hub for the filmmaker of the new present. और इंडिया की अगर बात करें जो कई मूवीज इंडिया में शूट होती है, तो इंडिया की लोकेशंस की काफ़ी सिग्निफिकेंस है. एक्सॉटिक लोकेशंस, टैलेंटेड पूल, रिलेटिवली चीपर कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शंस, पोस्ट प्रोडक्शंस that has made India a favorable destination for the foreign filmmakers also. So it's vice versa. India is also inclined towards work in Australia, and even for foreign media or foreign basically जो film के productions के लोग हैं वो भी इंडिया में काफ़ी ज़्यादा interested हैं for their locations, talented pool and the low cost of productions, right? So this is how it is working between India and Australia. So this was all about for the FCA for this month. We have a lot more other initiatives for you like daily news and editorial analysis, which I covered from the Hindu and Indian Express. IASGYAN की मैगजीन आप हमारे वेबसाइट से डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं. FCAs दे PIB, MPR, Gist of Yojana and Kurukshetra. These all initiatives will help you to sail through the journey of civil services. If you have any other concern, do let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.